It really was not very noisy. And when it trick hand,
From his
because we think that the old woman is lying, it doesn't mean this man is telling the truth. وهذا الخدعة اللي بنقع فيها.
Yeah.
معناه إنه small flat 42. No, you are a liar. You old woman. You're lying. It doesn't mean the other guy. لأنه هو عامل حفلة. هو اللي عامل حفلة. بده يقول عن حفلة مش noisy. Okay, it wasn't really very noisy. About 10 of us were here until 11 p.m. Not 40, 10. Not 2 a.m., 11 p.m. And then we went out to a club. كملنا الحفلة. When I saw Mrs. Snell the next day, I said, I hope there was not too much noise. But as usual, she did not say a word. Funny lady. Funny lady. And funny doesn't mean funny like it's funny. It means strange. Funny here means funny or means silly. Or strange, weird, odd. This evening, my sister and I are going to visit a friend of ours who is in hospital. And then we are going out for a Chinese meal. So they're not going to the pub, they're going to visit a friend at hospital, somebody who's sick. And then we're going to a Chinese meal. The message here, there could be so many things here. But this is an important piece, like small piece that invites us to avoid snap judgment or avoid judgment at all. We spend our lives judging others, which we usually sadly do all the time, judging people. This is good, this is bad, this is tall, this is fat, this is thin, this is short, this is dark, this is light. We'll end up grumpy, old, alone, like this old woman. And we waste our time and energy. And most probably we're going to be false and wrong. A story like this should shake us, should change us, should change something about our personalities and our behavior. Always, please, always remember this. Like, I could be mistaken. Like, I shouldn't judge people. I should avoid what we call snap judgment. More point here, question? Maybe we can take a break, Yusuf, or in 10 minutes? In 10 minutes? Okay. Before we begin the break, I want you to go to the Tomorrow Will Be Different story. Listen, always bring the material with you, like every time. Someone please read the story again.
Yeah.
Go on.
Tomorrow will be different. Tomorrow will be different. I'll get up early, organize the children, send them neatly to school. My husband quietly to work. And I shall surprise with gentleness, eyes, low-body dress in blue, smelling of lavender, hair parted in the middle. Shouting is over, the little monsters come hot-eyed to school after placating the cat, kicked only beyond its dignity, and him at work, no doubt extracting the part of insults well armed and in. Now I shall clear away the muck of this half-eaten breakfast, then get dressed, and by tonight it will be all right, and tomorrow will be different.
One more reading. Can someone recite it with passion, with emotion? Muhammad?
Tomorrow will be different. Tomorrow will be different. I will get up early, organize the children, send them neatly to school, my husband quietly to work, and I shall surprise with gentleness, eyes low, distant and blue, smiling of lavender, hair parted in the middle. Shouting is over, and the little minister's gone hot-eyed to school after letting the cat kicked only behind its dignity, and him at work, no doubt extracting the powers of insults well aimed and aimed. Now I shall clear away the map of this half-eaten breakfast, then get the test, and by tonight it will be all right, and tomorrow will be different.
Very good. One more. One more reading. What do you think of the speaker, the narrator, the woman? Is she happy? Is she enthusiastic? Is she glad? Is she bored? Angry?
She's not happy with herself.
Unhappy?
Unhappy.
Sad? Lonely? What does she seek? Why is
She ha-
why did she write this?
yes.
What feeling is she trying to convey?
She had enough with this bad routine every day. and,
Routine? How do you know it's a routine?
that she would.
Did she say my life is routine, repetitive,
No.
and boring?
No.
How
she,
do you know?
She telling the things she did every day, and tomorrow she will change it. So I recognize.
There's a promise. The title promises that tomorrow will.
Will be
Why not today? Is she lazy, submissive? In addition to the fact that she's angry. Anger is good. Because anger means you're frustrated, you want to change. And there's a promise in the title that someone wants to change. But we know if you say tomorrow I will do this, usually you don't do it.
yes.
بكره بدي اقرا اليوم خلينا نقدرنا نقول على الفيسبوك بكره بنقرا and tomorrow والمشكله انه tomorrow remains tomorrow because when it comes the statement remains tomorrow. Oh no tomorrow لسه ما جاء because tomorrow never comes because today we are today, yesterday is always yesterday, and tomorrow will never come. So there is someone who is promising, but is she doing something to change?
No.
So, but thank you for saying routine. Thank you for getting this. For what else? What other feelings is she trying to convey? Why is she writing this piece? What does she want to tell us, show us?
Enough is enough.
Enough is enough. Where is that in the story?
By counting the things that she had fed up with, the life that doesn't seem to be happy for her, or
Okay. Enough is enough. What else? Is it because she's a woman, because she's a housewife, or does this thing happen to all human beings?
maybe it's,
All mothers.
All mothers are like this.
Yeah.
I guess no.
What else?
She called her.
Oh,
Baby.
interesting. I like it when people pay attention to little things, to words, to word choice.
Little
She
minister.
called her kids monsters.
Monster.
ما تقول monster. Some monster. Monster.
Monster.
Oh my God. Who calls her little kids monsters? So either they're really too horrible, or she's not a good mother, right? Or do mothers sometimes use these words to describe their kids in,
Huge.
not because they hate the kids, but just
The behavior. of
they're
the
naughty, yeah. Monsters, whoosh. That's what was a very beautiful, realistic description. Shouting is over. And then whoosh,
The battle is.
the battle is over. And the little monster's gone. طلع عليه hot eyed. يعني عيونهم تقدح شراب. To school. They reluctantly go to school. Isn't that realistic? Imagine yourself, تخيل تذكر نفسك when you were a kid, or if you have little brothers and sisters now. How it takes ages to wake them up, how it takes ages to convince them to dress, to eat even.
Yes.
Breakfast.
And then once they are out, the mom is like, after placating, I love this, placating the cat, kicked only beyond its dignity. لسه لأنه في الدار بتاكل ايش؟ شلاليط. And him, the man, the husband, at work extracting the barbs of insults. I love the metaphor here. Barbs, تعرفوا wire barbs, السلك الشائك. Insults. كأنه ينتزع أشواك الشتائم. Will earned and aimed التي توجه له. How does she know? How does she know that her husband is being abused at work? How does she know? He tells her. She knows because he tells her. Every day he comes back home complaining about his horrible, horrible life at work. Let me ask you one question for the break. Is tomorrow going to be different? Take 1 minute and think of this. Look from the story. Look at the story. Does the story indicate that tomorrow will be different? Is tomorrow going to be different? Yes or no? Yes. Why? No, why?
Yes and no.
Give me reasons. Convince me. Show me something from the text.
Because
No, wait. Take your time. Think. Is tomorrow going to be different? Is tomorrow going to be different? Is she going to change? Okay.
Definitely no.
Definitely no. Oh,
Tomorrow's today. I think if she doesn't make today is changed. I mean, if she don't change today, tomorrow is never ever to change. Or
Can you bring evidence from the text? Is there anything in the text that indicates
I
that
think-
she's never going to change?
I think everything is going like every day. Nothing changes, and she doesn't seem to change the things that she every day does or did.
My question again, from the text. لما بقول لك from the text بدك تعلمني على جملة على سطر على كلمات على إيش. From the text. Do you have any indication?
Now I shall clear away the map
Okay. What
of
does
this.
that indicate?
She's starting to change.
When she says, I will get up early,
Okay. What does that mean?
that this is something
Good or bad? Is it good or bad?
not bad.
Getting up early is bad. Come on.
Good.
That something is done every day.
Because she's dreaming.
I have an opinion.
She is dreaming. How? Is this a
So she
dream?
say well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, about the future.
Future.
Okay, thank you. So the use of will indicates procrastination. She is putting off till tomorrow what she should be doing today. The use of will, I will, inshallah, I will, I am here. Tomorrow, I promise, tomorrow I will be different. What else? Is there any other indicator?
I have an opinion here.
Okay,
that in this story, by the word tomorrow, she didn't mean tomorrow next day.
Yeah, because
She-
tomorrow could be
Yeah, tomorrow could be
future.
the future.
the future.
Because her problems is too complicated to solve in one day.
Uh-huh.
She has more than one kids. To just one day, they will not be changed. Her husband work.
But how, okay, that's a very good point, which brings another question here. How can tomorrow be different? What is she going to do? How can she change? Imagine, like, go crazy. She can kill herself, right?
Get rid of her kids.
Manage? She can just leave the house.
Yes.
She can divorce the husband and leave him with the kids. She can just disappear. Or she can not wake up early in the morning the next day. Teach them a lesson.
That will be different to the bad side.
Still, sometimes you have to be cruel in order to change things.
If she doesn't wake up, she will punish herself.
How?
More. The kids will stay at home.
Yeah, but they're going to be, rebuked, reprimanded at school. The husband might even get abused more for coming late. Or at least it's going to be a change.
She could get a job.
She could get a job. Excellent. She could join, a university or something. What's that?
Join the army
Yeah, whatever.
to be disciplined. To learn.
She can
To learn how to discipline, probably.
she can do
She can become tougher.
a schedule or a timetable. To
She can organize her time and their time. Because probably if you don't wake up early in the morning, it's because you were staying up late.
Yes. Putting a new rules
All
for the house.
sorts of things she can do to change. But in your opinion, she's not going to change. She's submissive, she's boring, she's inactive, she's passive. And the text helps us understand this. What is the first sentence in the text? What does it say?
Tomorrow will be different.
What is the last sentence in the text? What does this create?
Routine. Loop.
But again, we are making
The
judgment of her.
A circle.
She might be the opposite.
Yeah. We just all
And
these
she
are
needs- she
all
needs
none of these are like of these answers like definitive. But the story creates a circle. I love how the story ends where it began because it creates a kind of a vicious circle. What's a vicious circle? What's a vicious circle? حلقة مفرغة.
Open ending.
Vicious circle. A non-end is like a loop. It never ends.
Yeah.
I love how the story makes, other than using will, meaning, okay, tomorrow, procrastinating, putting off till tomorrow what you must be doing today. The way the story ends with what it began indicates this routine and boring and repetitive life of this woman. Indicates that probably she's living in this vicious circle, where she does the same thing every day, and every day she says she's going to change, but she does not. And she's living a miserable life. Notice this. Number one, the kids kicking the cat is really horrible. Number two, clearly she does everything for them. Everything. They just wake up early, reluctantly, and then she does the breakfast,
All the
does the
housework.
dishes, all the housework. And even they don't eat the food.
Half eat.
This habit and practice.
Isn't that something that mothers hate?
Yes.
Nothing that a mother hates more than,
Non-fish.
non-finished dishes. Seriously. If you don't know this, it means you don't pay attention to your mom. You're too busy looking at your, checking your Facebook. And I want you to try the series. I want you to try this. تلقى يوم تلقى أمك عملك مثلا محشي ورق عنب. And you know, and you should know, if you don't know, it's really bad. How long it takes to do this vine years. اقعد على هذا خد محشيتين وقوم. بس وانت تطلع notice how she's going to react. بس اعمل يعني سيناريو يعني ايش بنسميه يعني ايش بنسموه مناورة يعني مانوفر. notice her reaction. بعدين لا تقلقيش يا حاجة أنا بعمل تجربة عليك. But make sure she doesn't have shoes around her. Okay? طيب, we'll take a break here. And after the break, I'm going to see what stories you have for me. Thank you. Before we read, I have this written by Sarah Ali. Not sure if you know her. Sarah wrote the story from the point of view of the husband. And she says, tomorrow will not be different. Tomorrow will not be different, I tell you. Even if my wife says it will be different, believe me, it won't. She'll do the same nasty things she's been doing ever since we got married. She will kick me and the kids out of the house to enjoy her day all alone. I guess she spends her time watching Desperate Housewives, as though she's not one herself. She won't fix my tie, and she'll claim she's too dizzy to bend down and tie Michael's shoelace. She once said that it's humiliating for her to do it and that he must learn how to do it himself. Well, Michael is 6 years old, whatever. And she always belittles my job, saying that my boss and my co-workers call me names. They don't. They just like to make fun of the feminine-like perfume I wear, which she, by the way, bought for me on my birthday. Well, a week after my birthday, when she got to remember, she forgot it. She will never change. I'll always come home to find her wrapping around herself the ugly, ragged blue blouse that she wore for the last 5 years, with her hair parted in the middle, just like my 80-year-old mother. Not different. Not different. She will not be different. That's a husband. That's the man taking very harsh. It's very beautiful at the same time, very creative. And that's the power of story. They say telling stories is exercising power. And they say everything in our life is a collection of stories. Everything. Everything we know, everything we do, why we believe, what we believe, everything is mainly based on stories. That's why he who tells the story controls people, controls the narrative. And for a long time, Palestinians have a rich history of stories. But these stories are sadly mainly oral stories, not written. And our job here, part of our job actually, is to get to learn how to write these stories and publish them, get them out to the people. Because stories can change, whether these stories are fictitious or real or factual or part fact, part fiction. Because that's how you win people, that's how you reach out to people, through fiction, through stories. Okay, so we have two different stories from a man and a wife, a husband and wife, a husband and wife, but they're different. And in my opinion, the better story is going to influence you more. The story that is written in a creative way, that makes you think, that makes you reconsider things, is the one you're going to like more. Yalla, tell me what you wrote there tomorrow. How many of you wrote tomorrow? One.
لا story only story my only story.
Tomorrow will be different. Tomorrow will be different. Only one? That's not good. At all. And if you keep doing this, I just quit coming here. Seriously, I should be asleep now, doing the best thing I do. So I wake up early in the morning and I have to come here. I know we can do amazing things, great things, so please. Right? أنا طالب منكم 2 paragraphs. If you come here, it means you have made the decision to write, to change, to develop, and you wanted to change, to improve at least your language skills. Please do your assignments, your writing. Okay, so?
Okay. This story is fictional story, not the serious story. Okay.
Based on tomorrow will be different.
No. Not
His own.
this own.
Only this guy gives me hope. Prevents me from jumping off the 8th floor. So you go to a case of suspicion. The story you have in front of you. Okay, I'll give you 10 minutes to read the story, to go through the story, and to trace the following things, the elements of the story. Number 1, the characters. I want you to get out the main characters and the minor characters. Number 2, I want you to tell me what point of view this is. The point of view of the narrator, the narrative perspective. Is it a first-person narrator? What's a first-person narrator? A first-person narrator is like, tomorrow will be different, by an I. Or is it a third-person narrator? No, third-person narrator. There are other ways, stream of consciousness and stuff. We'll talk more about these things. And also the conflict. The conflict, we have generally 2 types of conflict. The inner, the internal, the psychological, the inside, the one in the heart and the mind of one of the characters, usually the main character, and the external. Okay, and also I want you to trace the theme or themes. Topic, what is it about? The message. What is the story discussing? What is the story trying to change in the society? Why is this written? What do you find interesting about this? Okay. And finally, I want a summary, a 2 or a 3 line summary of the story. And summarize the story in 2 sentences, maximum 3 sentences. So 1, the characterization, we have narrative perspective, the narrator, the conflict, the theme, and I want a summary of a story. Like when you tell somebody, hey, I read a story today about this band who this and that, and then this and that. Okay? So I'll give you, again, like 10 minutes to go through the story and 5 minutes to come up with answers to these questions. What's that? خلص ما فات شيء ذكرت عليه.
لا مش هذا
ايه؟
مش
خلص زعلان منك واحد. يلا 15 minutes and we will be I'm going through all of you. So all of you need to give me all the answers. Of course, written answers. I want you to read what you wrote. Okay. We begin with number 5. Give me a short summary of the story. We begin from here.
Dr. Benson got a call from Sorley family to deliver a baby. In his way riding to the Sorley farm, he left a man. For some reasons, Dr. Benson thought that man robbed his watch. So he threatened the man by pistol to get his watch back. Later, he realized that man is not a thief.
Next.
Summary.
No, if you didn't read, don't. If you didn't write, don't read.
I didn't write the summary.
Next. Next. Next.
انا بكتب فيه بس بعمل خلصه.
Next. Next. Next.
This is the story of a doctor he disliked his job and went to deliver a baby, to help a mother delivering a baby.
That's it?
Yeah.
Next. 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 Question number 4.
I think it's about how people think, sociology of man, how think and react to.
ايش كتبت؟
I didn't.
Next.
Misunderstanding the people.
اقرأ.
Misunderstand the people.
Next.
Anger from the people.
Is that what you wrote?
Yep.
Next. Next.
misrepresenting and don't
Read.
judge it.
Is this what you wrote? Is this what you wrote?
No.
Next.
ده السمرة.
Next. Next. Next.
It's about a misjudgment.
Next. Next.
Quick judgment. Quick judgment.
What's that?
Quick judgment.
Next.
The duty of helping others, and the fake suspicion.
Number 3, what are the conflicts?
I think it's external.
Where is it?
Between the doctor and the thief. Or
Next.
There are two conflicts. The internal, when the doctor starting asking himself and starting conflict with his ideas that he is a thief or not, and what shall he do with him. And the external, when he fighting or put the gun on the head of the thief. I think.
Next.
Okay, there is internal conflict is combination in the hospital, but the external is with the thief.
How is the internal in the hospital?
Combination.
Complain.
What's that?
إنه بيعاني.
No Arabic.
Okay, combination. Okay, when his mind also complained a terrible hour.
Okay, so.
Okay, this I think internal conflict.
Okay. And.
External with the thief
Next.
and anger.
External.
Okay, where is it? Next.
Two type of conflict there. Internal, when the phone ringing and the doctor fed up of his work, going night to hospital or to place to delivering baby, he complained of his work. And
If this conflict only complaining, it's a lot more
complaining and
profound and complicated than complaining. If you complain about something, it doesn't necessarily mean there's conflict. So don't confuse only complaining and conflict. Conflict is like the infighting, the fighting between competition, the fierce competition sometimes, either inside your mind or heart or between you and other members of the society around you. It doesn't have to be just a complaint. If you complain about the university, about university is tough, that's a complaint. But it doesn't show conflict. It doesn't necessarily show, but it could show conflict depending on the angle, how it is tackled.
I think conflict when he go back from his date and the wine and in the winter season.
Next.
Or
So it's external with the strange man.
Mm-hmm.
When he thought that he's a thief and
Next.
Internal, within the main character of the doctor, he, like from the text, he seems to hate his job and he's not comfortable with it. And external, with the man he encountered in his way to the house, and with the family that he is dealing with.
Okay. Next. Next.
Internal is between a doctor and himself, his thoughts, but the external events and the doctor and the doctor with art.
There's a conflict between doctor and ought.
No. The conflict was in the watch that is
No,
stolen.
you mentioned Mr. Ott. Why is Mr. Ott there? Is there a conflict between Mr. Ott and somebody else?
I think no conflict between Ott and Doctor.
Okay, and next.
Yes, the conflict we have two internal within himself, whether to reply the phone or not. This is the internal one between him, his thoughts and idea and heart at the same time. And we have the internal, whether the old man stole his watch or not. External, we have the Dr. Benson with the environment, where it was November and the weather was windy and cold weather. So it was like a conflict between himself and the environment outside, whether to go or not, or to stay at home. And with the old man next in the story.
Okay, what is the point of view here?
Third person.
Third person. Who's the narrator?
The author.
We know the author, forget about the author. Who's the narrator? There's a difference between the narrator and the author. The narrator is usually somebody who is not the author, the writer.
What is the reader?
Who might be the narrator?
The reader.
Who could be telling us this story?
Mrs. Ott.
Mrs. Ott. How?
After he told her what happens with him, she retold the story.
Okay, so she's retelling the story that was told to her by
Dr. Benson.
Dr. Benson. Could it be somebody else? Could it be somebody else? Is there a possibility that the narrator is somebody other than Mrs. Ott? And if it is Mrs. Ott, she's retelling it. And who told her? Dr. Benson himself. Does that make a difference? Does it make a difference if you're retelling a story told to you by somebody?
Yes.
Could the narrator be
One of the
somebody that Evans met and listened to the story from Evans himself?
but,
Is it possible?
There would be missing details when.
Well, missing. Where is the missing
When
thing?
he left the car, he don't know.
We don't know what happened to
what
Evans. So what happens at the end of the story? What happens at the end of the story?
The doctor realized that this watch is not him.
Is this the ending? What happens next? Let's assume. خلاص. Does life end here?
No.
It does. Like, does everybody die?
No.
That's the end of the world.
No.
Is this Armageddon? The end, the watch incident, and that's it. The end of life. So this is what we call an open-ended story. And open-ended stories are very important and very common, by the way. Because number one, they invite the reader to think, to be part of the story. They engage the reader. You don't go home like, you always think of what you read or watch. But when it's open-ended, it's very engaging. Makes you part of the story. Makes you think, what happened next? Oh my God, what happened to Evans? What's Dr. Benson going to do next? What is the next step? What is he going to do? Where is he going to go? Is he going to fix what he did? Or is he just going to go back home? If he goes back home, what does that tell about him? If he goes back to Evans, does he find him? If he finds him, what does Evans do?
Apologize.
What happened to the first watch? Where is it? Different possibilities, very important. That's an open-ended story. If the narrator is, we don't know who the narrator is. It's a third person. Usually, if it's a third person narrator, it's somebody from outside the story.
ممكن the reader.
But could be one of the readers. But لا يعني physically بفعش. يعني somebody who know like يقولوا the third person narrator is like a god. But here the third person narrator is more familiar with Dr. Benson than anybody else. So he could be somebody next to him. لاحظوا القصة, we don't know whether Dr. Benson is married or not, or divorced or not, or in love or not, or has kids or not. All these things, because they're not important. These details are not important to the story, so they were left out. Not everything can be mentioned, it just can be left for the imagination of the reader. If the story is told by Mrs. Ott, then it's going to be influenced by the person who told her the story. And the person is Dr. Benson. If Dr. Benson tells the story of what happened, is he going to be harsh on himself?
No.
Probably not. He's not going to be harsh on himself. But if the story, let's assume that like Dr. Benson goes back, he finds events and they fix things. Sorry والله يا كنت تعبان ونعسان وصحيت ومتضايق والصبح. Alright? And then Dr. Evans finds somebody else and he tells him, can you won't believe what happened to me yesterday. Blah 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 blah. And if it is told through this perspective, it means that there is difference. So the point with you, the narrator, whether the narrator is a first person narrator or third person narrator, makes a huge difference. In my opinion, it's the first and the most important decision you need to make when you tell a story. Okay, I want to write a story. Should I choose a first person narrator? And a first person narrator is usually limited to one perspective, one opinion, your experience. And a first person narrator's credibility is usually brought under scrutiny and other questioning. Is he telling the truth? Maybe he's not. But a very successful first person narrator is very beautiful because it makes you identify, makes you think that this is my struggle, this is my fight, this is my life. And recently, I read a novel, it's actually now a movie called Room. Very important movie that everyone has to watch. It got won an Oscar. It's originally based on a novel by the same name, Room. The narrator is a 5-year-old. The narrator is a 5-year-old. And before you read it, oh my God, how is it going to be told? How is a 5-year-old going to tell a 5-year-old with the limited perspective, understanding of the world? But when you read it, wow. The author is really creative. How she manages to depict the world through the eyes of a 5-year-old is wonderful. It's like you telling a story, you've never been to Jerusalem or the West Bank, telling a story about the wall or the settlements or the settlers. You've never been there, and that's the power of imagination. If you want to choose a third person narrator, which is usually, not always, but usually more credible because the third person narrator looks from above at all characters. Somebody did this, somebody said, he found this, and then they spoke, and then sometimes the third person narrator can be biased to one character or another. Sometimes you tell a story from the third person narrator perspective and then you realize, it's not what I want to convey, and then you can change. You change the narrator, but it takes time and effort to do that. Every time you read a story, think of the narrator and why the writer made this particular choice. Why is it being told through a first person narrator, not a third person narrator? Or the opposite. It's a very important decision. Think of this before you write any story. Make your choice depending on the needs and the impact you want to convey. Who are the characters here? Main or minor?
Main, Dr.
Dr.
Benson.
Benson.
Eva, the man.
Is events main or minor?
Man.
Main character.
Minor characters?
The
Events, sorry.
Old Dr. Benson.
His
Very good. All Dr. Benson. Dr. Benson Senior. He's a minor character. He's there.
Old
He's
Doc-
not, by the way, he's not there physically, but he's mentioned. We sense his influence.
Old
Baby
Doc-
and his,
The baby.
his mother.
The mother,
older boy of
the older boy, and Mr. Sorley himself, right? How many characters do we have?
six.
Yeah, that's a short story. You can't include like 100 characters or 20 or 10 even in a short story. And even when you do, there's only one,
The emphasis on
maximum 2 main characters. Maximum, like it's not a law, but because it's short, you can't develop, expand on more characters. Minor characters are there to help push the plot and support particular things. There is another division for characters, by the way, classical one: flat or round. Flat character, or sometimes stock character in a story, is a character that doesn't change. Static. Doesn't change. Could be main or minor. Usually minor characters are flat and static. But round characters, complicated characters, characters that at a particular moment change something, realize something, become different, they're dynamic. Although some might say this doesn't happen a lot in a short story because we don't have a lot of space. But it's good to think of these when you write. Okay? Because this could happen after the story. Meaning, if Dr. Benson goes back to look for Evans, it means he is round. He's complicated. He changes because he was judgmental at the beginning. If he doesn't go back, خلاص, so what? I made a mistake. Oh, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. Or even if he keeps it a secret, it means he's a flat character. He's a character that doesn't want to change. Okay, so these are some of the elements of our short story. You can write a whole short story with 1 or 2 missing. And there's the plot. We'll talk about it later on. The plot, حبكة. For many, it's the most important thing besides characters. What do you mean by like the elements? The elements are the parts that make the story a story. And remember, even here, you can include and exclude things. Yani your whole story could be without characters. Can you make a story without characters? It's a stream of consciousness. ايش stream of consciousness? It's like you're inside the mind of somebody. Could be characterless. The whole story could be without conflict at all. Without an ending, without a clear plot. Whether you do this or not, or this or that, is up to you, but remember it has to serve a purpose. It has to serve a purpose. What's the purpose? What I have in mind to convey. The message, the theme, the coda, the moral lesson, the thing I want people to think of, how I want to change them. Okay? So my assignment for next time we'll talk about the plot. I want you to write the 3 stories I assigned you last time. Tomorrow will be different, my neighbor, and the other one was? Yeah, I asked you to write a paragraph about something. It doesn't have to be life changing, something that happened to you, something like the story of Neil. Okay? So 3 stories next time, in addition to an ending to this story. Add 1 more paragraph here of what you think might happen afterwards. But remember, the ending doesn't have it shouldn't be haphazard. It should be linked to the story. What you think of the story? Some of you might hate Dr. Benson. You make the story, the ending, you end it in a way where you make readers even hate him more, angry at him. You like him, you identify with him. Once in one of my classes, I was like doing the same thing, and one of the students was really very defensive of Dr. Benson, like, well, and then I realized her dad's a doctor. So it doesn't have to be like she's defending because, but it could mean that she understands what doctors go through. And that's why we could have different endings. I'll stop here. Next time we'll talk about probably the most important thing, which is plot. But next time, I'll give you 1 chance. Next time, please write the 4 pieces. If you come here without the 4 pieces, I'm not sure I will continue. I'm sorry to say this. But we're here تعبانين وجايين بدل ما تكونوا نايمين والى اخره. ارجوكم يا جماعه write the assignments. ما فيش داعي لنا امتحانات ولا في عندنا شيء ولا في دراسه. Please write the 4 assignments. There are only 4 paragraphs, and this is how you're going to improve. This is how you're going to become better at least. If you don't want to write, I don't know. So if you have questions, please ask.
I think we need to explore the thing of killing and showing.
Yeah, we can.
It seems
I'm planning to do more on this because it's the most important thing. But the trick about showing is that it needs more practice. That's it. It comes by time. Because as I think our culture here in general, our community is mainly based on telling, on abstracts. I'm sure of the people, all the people you know, there are at least 50 people in your mind you hate or love and you have never met. But you base your judgment upon what people tell you. So we find it difficult when we translate, when we want to show more, when we write in a different language and we want to show more. But by practice, by doing more writing, and by when we read, when you just notice things, oh yeah, this is how things are. Here, the trick الأساسي إنه like, aren't we telling everything? Yes, we are telling everything. Even the showing part is telling. بس تو كان في فرق في القصة. هو قال عنها she's strange. هذا pure telling. When I speak to her, she never replies. هذا mixed. ليش mixed؟ السؤال هو لك وين the major difference. كيف تعرف إنه this is showing or telling? If it gives me a judgment, somebody is amazing, is tasty, is good, is strange, is weird, is funny, is blah blah blah, that's telling. If it makes me think of a word, a judgment, that's showing. So when she, every time I say hello, she never replies. Huh? Why? Is she crazy? Is she deaf?
You can.
Is she angry? That's more showing than telling. But pure showing when, like, the other day I saw my teacher said, hey teacher, hey sir, how are you? and he didn't reply to me. فصار فيها action. Action is usually more show. But yeah, we will do more on showing. But we can do one session on that. Yeah, thank you guys. Please bring your assignments next time.